Hi, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're building a simple Python project where our app will take the student score and return their grade. That said, let's get started. The first thing I want us to do is to create a Python file on Visual Studio Code. I'll create this file. I'll call the file student score. I like calling my files in accordance to my project. This is student score.py because I'm actually creating a Python file. So I'll save this. Now I've created the file. Now we're going to use a function. Now let's call the function grade. Now for this app, I'll be collecting student scores. So I'll collect the score. Score will be equals to collect my score. I'll do an input. Then I'll raise a question. What is your student's score? Now if my student score is greater than or equals to 70, what would my app return? I want it to print an A telling me it's excellent. Else, if the score, I'm using a nested if. Now, if the score is greater than or equals to 60, I want the system to print the student's grade as a B. Now, if you look at what I am doing, I am creating my output as strings. I wanted to create a B, which tells me that it is very good. Now, else again, if the score is greater than or equals to 50, I want the system to print out for anything greater than 50 and less than 60. I want to print out a C, and tells me that the grade is good, not very good. Then else, if my score is greater than or equals to 40, then I want the system to print out a D telling me the student has passed, which is just a pass. Then finally, if it is less than a 40, which is the last condition, I use just the else statement. I want the system to simply tell me that the student has an F, which is a fail, Now we need to run this. Let's run it. The best way to run this is to call my grade. If I call grade, and it's asking me what is your student score. Let's have 76. Now the first thing you can notice is though I've called an input, but VS Code has told me that the operand here does not support string. That is, I want you to say this, that is my input statement only takes in a string. Now what then do? That is, I need to convert my score from either is from a string to either an integer or a float. So let's do that. So that there are one of two ways I can achieve this. I can either tag score equals int, and this is score again, or if I don't want to go this route, the other easy thing I can do is to just impute my int here, declare my int here. I want you to see something. Now I've declared this as an int. So if I declare this as an int now, let's run it. Now what is your student score? I'll tag it at 76. Now 76, he has told me is what? It's excellent. Now let's run it again. What is your student score again? Let's tag it as 30. Let's tag, he has accepted it that my student score is 30, it has failed. Now, what of a case where my student has 35.5 or 45.5? If my student has 45.5, what does it return? Another issue again. Now, int, input, what is your student's score? Invalid literal. Now, obviously, for int with base 10, 45.5 is not an integer, it's a float. Then that means I have to change this to a float, Now, what I just basically wanted you to see is how to actually handle errors alongside coding. While coding, there are different types of issues, but if you learn to handle the issues, you can always work out your way with your code. Now, let's run it now. Let's clear my terminal. Now, if my score is 70, let's see what it returns. A, it's excellent. Let's run it for a case where my score is 45.3. If my score is 45.3, B, it has passed. So my code works very well for both integers and string. With this, I hope you understand how to build this simple app. Thank you for staying with us and see you in our next class.